Beautiful, left and right. That's hunting. How do you reckon we should start it then? Yeah, I'm excited to show you. It's a hell of a place. There's a lot of game. There's a real good balance of things here, but predominantly what we're here to do is control the rabbits. So this is a fairly new piece of ground for me. I got permission on here back in, I think, May, June time. The land was sort of pretty much untouched for around 3 or 4 years. It's an arable land, so it's farmland, and the rabbits were attacking his crops big time. There's a lot of rabbits about, not as many as there was, but there's still a lot around. So today we're going to go out and about, set a few snares. I've got a high power air rifle, so we're going to take that out this evening with the night vision and thermal and pick a few off there. I've brought the shotgun with me as well because there's been a wild brood of pheasants around all year. Been watching them, and I think they're going to be held up in some of the cover crop, so I might try and walk a couple of them up. There's a lot of pigeons here as well. There's a couple of fields that have just been drilled with rape, so we've got to try and protect that too. The problems we have with the pigeons is they're not really flighting in to feed, they're resident pigeons. So the problem you have is if you try and decoy them, you'll have one shot at them and they'll just lift and go somewhere else. And then once they've fed, they're going back into the trees. You know, they're not flighting in to feed and flighting back out. So there's no flight lines as such. So we've got an action-packed sort of 24 hours really. We'll come back in the morning, checking the snares obviously. And yeah, we've got plenty to do. So first port of call is get some snares set. You can see there's 2 runs. We've got a run going through here and one going through there. This takes us out onto one of the arable fields, which is obviously planted. They're coming through this wood and out onto the field to feed. So what we're going to try and do is intercept them as they go out. You can see this run through here. We've got like a natural funnel coming into here. So this, I think, here is the best place to set my snare on this run because it's the narrowest part. I can use this foliage to cover my teeler, which is the stem of the snare. And I think that's probably what we're going to have the best chance of catching on that one. And once we set that one, we'll do the same with the other run. And we'll make sure your snare's springy. So if something brushes past it, it springs back into place and resets. Size and height of the snare changes with every run for me. I think really you have to cater the snare to the run that you're on. So if you've got a really tight run, you're not going to put a massive snare over it because it's just pointless. So it's catering the snare to the run. So with the ground being wet, the rabbit's going to naturally run a little bit higher, probably about 6 inches off the ground. We've got a fairly large sized noose, but it covers the width of the run pretty much. So the head's looking to come through here and obviously catch him as he gets on through. This here gives you the foliage to cover the teeler. So as he comes through, he's not going to see it as much as if it was stood out, if there was nothing covering it, you know. We'll keep that nice and tight when you peg it back. So as soon as the rabbit hits it, he's hitting into pressure. Peg this one down and mark it up so we don't lose the snare. Move on to the next one. I think that's what I enjoy about it, is the fact it's kind of like me against the rabbit, trying to outwit the rabbit, you know, using skill and fieldcraft to try and put a meal in the bag, trying to outsmart the rabbit if you like, because they're going to know you've been there. With land this size and this much option for the rabbits, setting snares is difficult because they have so many options to avoid it or take another route. This would be a deer run. If you come and look at the size of this run compared to what we've just been putting a snare on. You see that run through there? And then if we come over to this one over here, it's a bigger run, so it's not going to be rabbits, I wouldn't think, but it's not going to be deer either because you've got that big bramble across it. So the height of the bramble says it wouldn't be deer because it would hit their chest. Too wide for a rabbit. So that's going to be like a fox run or something, I would think. Possibly. There's definitely a run there. Once we get them under control, keeping on top of them isn't going to be too much of a problem. And you know, never want to eradicate anything. It's all about, you know, just controlling the numbers. I think, you know, the sort of objective here from myself and the landowner, I think, is to keep a good balance. You know, it's a bit like a wild larder, I suppose. There's no point in having 5 pheasants here and shooting 5 pheasants because I like seeing them around for a start, but next year what are you going to hunt?
See some more, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, you're better off if there's 5, shoot 2, let the other 3 breed. As we're driving along here, obviously lots of rabbits come out of here to feed on the plants that's out here, because they have so much choice of where they can come through. You'd need thousands of snares to cover every possibility. So it's trying to find along here the best place to put a snare down. If we look over here, you can see obviously it looks like there's a run being used through here. So how we know it's being used, so we look at this moss. This is all green moss, yeah? Green moss here, green moss here.
Yeah.
Here, where the rabbit's coming through, the moss has been scuffed up. The moss is turned upside down. So that's how I've chosen to put my snare here and here. Like I say, there's plenty of places where they're running through, but that's fresh movement. So he's been through there recently, so they're definitely using that. So that's how I would pick that one. Right, all the snares are set. Got the shotgun out. Got an aim point on there. I've used these several times in Sweden, and I've always thought it'd be ideal over here for this kind of walked up rough shooting, where you're snap shooting, you haven't got much time. So I've got the aim point on. We're going to have a walk through a couple of areas of cover crop and see if we can put a pheasant or 2 out. Because it's so wide, I think we'll traverse half of it up, turn around and work the other side back down this way. Instead of trying to cover it all left and right, you know, sort of split it into 2. So we could really do with the dog. I love this. You never know what, where or when something may or may not come out. He's a lovely buck. He'll grow into a nice buck. Nothing flushed out of there. Let's try the other side. With the sun out like this, they're likely going to be out in a field somewhere sunning themselves. Ideally we'd like it a bit colder, wetter to find them in the cover, but we can hope. Nothing in that piece either. We take a drive now, past the copse, and there's another patch of cover down the bottom. The sun tends to get in down the bottom as well, so I think they may be kicking in the middle and around there. So let's go and have a look down there. They're going to stay low. I'm going to try and get in through this bottom corner. It's where they were saying the bottom corner with the sun. They're going to be in this bit of cover down here. So I'm going to try and get through and walk this piece up. Sure enough, they're in this corner. They've heard us already and gone out the other side. Didn't even get a shot. We're going to walk through anyway, because hopefully they haven't all gone, and maybe they've gone and just gone a bit further up. So we're going to walk it anyway, but that could have been our chance. If a bird does get up, the likelihood it's going to be low, but I know that way is completely safe. I know there's nobody walking through, I know the land, I know there's nobody around. So if a bird gets up and it's low, I'm going to shoot it, because I know it's safe. Beautiful, left and right. Oh. Wow, that's hunting. That's hunting. We work for them. That's the third bit of cover. Second track back down, walked it up, walked it back, and left and right. I couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier.
That's dinner for tonight, Wayne.
It is dinner for tonight. Well, maybe not tonight because we've got a full night of rabbit in ahead of us. Yeah, but there'll certainly be a meal for the week. So I've got a mixture of cartridges. This is a box a friend of mine gave me a little while ago, and these are old Game Boy Super Game 32 5s. So fibres. Let's give them a go on some pigeons. We'll try and stay still because then we'll be able to see them coming through there. If we get down there, we're not going to see anything to this last minute. So hopefully a bit of broken cover in front of us, we should be able to see them through the cover to prepare us for when they break cover. Hopefully they don't see us. If we stay still, we should be fine. I normally wear hearing protection all the time, but my ones with the sound sensitivity actually got wet and packed up after about 5 or 6 years. So I haven't got any hearing protection in today, and the reason why I haven't is with this kind of shooting, I need to hear what's going on. If I was clay shooting or anything like that, I'd have some in. Whoa. I should have shot that one. I thought he was too far over. We could do without this wind for tonight, really. It's a high-powered air rifle. It's a .25, but this wind is quite hefty, so it will be pushing the pellets off course a bit. So we'll have to make some allowances for wind. But hopefully it will die down. What we've got now, it's nearly 5 o'clock now, so we're going to be heading out probably around 8, 9 o'clock. Hopefully it's died down, but if not, the wind could cause us some problems. So this is what we're going to be using tonight. It's the Daystate Wolverine R HP. HP is for high power. This is a 50 foot-pound .25 FAC air rifle. On top we've got the new, or fairly new, HIC Micro Alpex 4K LRF, which means laser rangefinder. And shooting at night time, the laser rangefinder is a real game changer. I mean, at night time you can't judge distance at all, and having a rangefinder on the scope is excellent. So it's a day and night vision. So this is the infrared torch, just attaching now for the night vision. So we're just going to spot with the thermal, then we'll switch on the thermal once we spotted them and pick them up with the night vision. Lights off, action. We're off the mark. The evening is for the rabbits, the night's for the hunter. Yeah.
Awesome.
Held off slightly to the left for the bit of wind, and yeah, nice clean shot. You know, it makes you wonder how back in the day you sort of got away with it without thermal. The amount of commotion you'd have made with the lamps and stuff going and trying to find that.
That's a fair point, yeah.
You know, we just walked across there, obviously complete darkness, using just the thermal, picked him up, back in the motor, and we're going to move on. Whereas before, you'd have been panning around everywhere, trying to find it, especially in the, you know, the stubble that's fairly high. It's quite difficult to find them, but with the thermal, straight to it. Rabbit number 3 down. Through the head and somewhere. I feel it's all, yeah, nice headshot anyway.
Well done, sir.
Thank you. See that?
Yeah.
It's draining it. I got myself in a little bit of a tiz there. I got about a quarter of the way across, and there was another rabbit sat probably 20 yards behind this one. And I was kind of like, oh, do I go back and get the gun? Do I go and pick this one up? What do I do? So, but no, I'll go and pick this one up. So,
There's plenty about them, yeah?
oh yeah, yeah, there's plenty about. Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
Number 5.
Number 5. Yeah, I think he was sat sort of, as if facing away from me, I think, with his head turned. I think we've gone up in inside here somewhere. Number 6. Is it number 6?
6.
It always amazes me how they can flip around and go like that. Shot clean through the eye out the top of the head. That was a long way off.
That was a range shot.
It was around, I think, 112 something yards. I think it was 112 it said.
Wow.
I can't find where it's hit at the moment, but I'm sure I'll find it later on. Is that number 8?
Yep.
It's not an ideal night for it. It's actually gone flat calm now. There's not a cloud in the sky. There's a bit of moon. So, and we can see right the way across the entire field. It's not like, ideally you want it black, you know, but we're doing all right. What do you reckon then, Bax? It is now 10 to 11. We've shot 8 rabbits. We've got the snares to check in the morning. We've got to gut these out. I'm thinking by the time we get back it's going to be midnight and an early start. 8 rabbits is a good finish, I think, don't you?
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Do you want to go and get some more?
Fair play. Always ready for some more.
Always ready. Actually, this one's got a broken foot. That's broken and healed. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have a look up the road.
More?
We'll have a look, all right then, okay, we'll have a look up the road.
Yeah.
And because I've not done them fields yet.
Sure.
And we'll stick our heads in there
Okay.
and see what's about.
Let's do this.
Rightio. This is all down to you, Bax. I was ready to go. Pulled up in this field.
I feel like I'm bringing a bit of luck.
3 for 3. Yeah,
Amazing, mate.
very, very nice rabbits too.
11.
11 rabbits. I think we better go and get these paunched out
Yeah.
and head back home. It's only 20 past 11 now, so literally in the last half an hour, driven from the other place to here.
Wow.
Got to the field, knocked 3 over. Yeah, worth coming on, isn't it?
Amazing.
Right, let's go and get these paunched, shall we?
Let's do this, mate. Just seeing you know, the skill and the thought you put into, you know, which field you're going to go to. One didn't work at the beginning, you went to another one and then came back. Incredible.
Yeah, it's been a good night. It's we've had the bright moon, which then got covered by cloud. We've had a bit of wind, then the wind's dropped. But it's been a real good night. I mean, it's still only really relatively early. It's 11:30. We've shot 11 rabbits. I'm really pleased with that, to be honest. We could keep going, but I don't see there's any need. We've had a long day, a nice brace of pheasants, and then we're going to be back first thing in the morning to check the snares. Obviously, first now we're going to get these paunched out and head on home and bedtime. But I'm very happy with how the evening's gone. We've had one, but we've been had. A fox has taken it. You see, it's ripped it off the teeler. so the wire's gone. So we've had a rabbit in there. The fox has come along and gone, free meal, rip.
So you got yourself a competition.
We have. So we've got a fox about, which to be honest, you're going to have foxes anyway.
Yeah.
But so far up here, I've been really lucky. I've hardly lost anything to foxes. I think I've maybe lost one or two.
Okay.
But typically, yeah, the fox has had this one. But we caught one,
Yeah.
provided a meal for the fox.
Enjoy.
Yeah,
Fox.
enjoy, have that one on me. The last of the snares picked up. Unfortunately, no luck overnight, but they've not even been down 24 hours, so I'm not particularly surprised. It's the first time I've actually drawn a blank, if you want to call it a blank. We did have one up in the copse, but we got, obviously a fox took it, so, and a bittersweet, I suppose. We caught one, but we didn't get to take it home, but it's a meal for the fox anyway. It's been a great couple of days. Lovely brace of pheasants yesterday on camera, really pleased with that, a real nice right and left. And obviously last night out, 11 rabbits with the rifle. And
that's a highlight for me. The pheasants, yeah, absolutely stunning. Yeah. But seeing you hunt for 11 rabbits was, yeah.
I mean, we could have shot more.
Yeah,
we could have kept going and shot more, but it was, there comes a point where I think enough was enough. It was sort of getting on for 11:30, and we had early morning to pick these snares up and check these snares. So, no, it's been a great couple of days, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Pleasure.